So the Hazbin Hotel now has a special little man joining the ranks. Hey everyone, welcome to Princess Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here to react to episode 3 of Hazbin Hotel. So we are getting to this a little differently today. So this is still coming out for you normal day and everything, but I'm recording this earlier in the week. And there's a number of reasons for this. Kind of the main reason for it though is the schedule for the week and everything with multiple movies on multiple days and all. It's just it makes it easier for me to do it this way. You're still seeing it on the same day, so release is not affected by this. But another thing is this allows me to see it a little earlier, and that way I can get to it without having to hop around spoilers as much. Though I still have to hop around spoilers a lot. And here's the issue. I talk about all the time. In fact, I mentioned it in this week's One Piece reaction that I consider One Piece to be one of the worst series out there when it comes to spoilers, because the community just doesn't give a shit, especially in regards to the fact that, you know, the manga is further ahead and manga readers will just spoil the shit out of whatever happens. They don't care about anime onlys. They just don't give a shit. But anime viewers will also spoil the shit out of episodes the instant they're released, not even caring that people might not have seen the episodes yet. So, you know, it really sucks. But lately, Hazbin Hotel's kind of been just as bad, if not worse. And that's wild to say. But Hazbin Hotel spoilers are everywhere. More so than One Piece. Like, I can't go onto Twitter without risk of being spoiled at all. Or TikTok, or Facebook, or pretty much anywhere online. To avoid spoilers for Hazbin Hotel, I would basically have to stay off the internet. Completely. Now, mind you, I've noted in the past that I know how to, like, avoid spoilers in the way to where it's like if I even see something that looks unfamiliar, my eyes will like just avert. Like my head will turn, my eyes will turn, I will like scroll past. I've learned how to do that pretty well, enough to the point where I do tend to avoid most spoilers. But at the same time, anything can still happen. I might end up accidentally seeing something, and it will be something that I won't be able to just scrub from my mind or anything. So you have to take that into account as well. That you have to face that issue. And again, it's been like really hard because you can't even just tag words like on Twitter or whatnot. Like, because people don't like tag their posts, their tweets like that. Like a person will like say something like about Sir Pentious and not use his name, not use Hazbin Hotel, not use any keywords like that that you could, like, you know, hide with Twitter's filters. Some people will just post fucking screenshots without any kind of words that you could hide. Or even video clips. And I have had to avoid these like the plague. It is so fucking hard. Because people just don't care. People don't give a shit. They they basically think the same way that these companies and streaming services think. That anybody who's a fan of this show is going to binge it. That the 6 episodes that are already out, anyone who's a fan of the show will have already seen all 6 of them. Because you're a fan of the show, you've got to be watching them exactly as they come out with no breaks and, no pacing. You can't possibly watch them in a reasonable length of time. No. That would be ridiculous. It would be ridiculous to expect you to actually watch these episodes at a reasonable pace. You have to watch it like all at once. You have to binge. If you're not binging, you're not enjoying the series. That's how they think. And the funny thing is, at least for me, it's the complete opposite. That break in between episodes is important to the enjoyment of the episode. It allows you to formulate thoughts and to understand situations better. If you just binge through the entire series in like one sitting, you're not going to have time to process anything. It's like if you had a hamburger. I know this is going to be a weird metaphor. It's like, let's say you had a hamburger or a cheeseburger, whatever you want to say. Let's say cheeseburger, just because it sounds better. I don't know. Let's say let's say you have a cheeseburger, right? It's a nice, good cheeseburger, really juicy, really cheesy, has some great toppings on it that you really love, right? And you just scarf it down. You just shove it in your mouth and eat it within like 2 minutes. You're not going to enjoy it. It's like, yeah, you're going to taste it. You're going to notice how juicy it is to a point. But you're not going to enjoy it because you're just shoving it down your gullet. You're just inhaling it without taking the time to truly appreciate everything that went into it, all the ingredients and all the flavors. Again, it'll still be good, but you're not going to truly like savor it for what it is. Compared to if you took the time, slowed down, and took every bite with purpose, tasting the burger, the cheese, the lettuce, the bacon, any sauces you might have on it. Any kind of like maybe mushrooms or tomato, whatever you prefer. You get the gist. You're taking a moment to take in all of those different flavors, all of those different elements, and it hypes you up for the next bite. It gets you excited for that next bite you're going to take because there's time. That time in between. You stop a moment, you maybe take a drink, you maybe just take a moment to just take it all in, and then you go in for another bite. You pace it out so that it comes as a natural, enjoyable experience. If you just scarf the entire thing down, you're not really getting it. You're inhaling it, but you're not enjoying it as it's intended to be enjoyed. And you can make an argument that, like with shows nowadays, a lot of creators are making them for this streaming kind of model because that's what's the big thing. So, a lot of these are meant to be binged, you could say. But I don't think that's the case at all. You watch any of these shows, and they pretty much always work better when they're not binged. That break in between is what makes them truly shine. Like, watching like 2, maybe 3 episodes in quicker succession isn't as bad, but like watching them so consistently and definitely binging like a full season in one sitting is just ridiculous to me. And again, you enjoy your burger any fucking way you want to. Do not let me tell you how to enjoy your fucking burger. You go into that in whatever way makes you happiest. But I don't have to understand you. I can respect you, but I don't have to understand where you're coming from. And I'm not going to. Because it makes absolutely no sense to me. It makes no sense to me that you would see that as being the better experience. Not to mention, it's proven that retention rates drop with binging. Shows are going to be more successful over a longer period of time with a weekly release. And Hazbin Hotel technically has a weekly release, but it's like the first like 4 episodes were released together. And then 5 and 6 were released together, and 7 and 8 are going to be released together. So it's not really a weekly release, it's a batch release. And that's not really better at all. That's not a good release schedule. It hurts the overall vibes of the show. And again, this is all my opinion. I want to make that very clear. I am not trying to tell you how to enjoy whatever you watch. I'm just sharing my views, my opinions. And I know that these pre-thoughts are going on very long because I'm talking about all of this, but this is something that's just been bothering me because, again, all of the having to avoid spoilers I've been doing, which has been very much more so for this series than even for One Piece. So the reason that I'm recording this reaction earlier in the week is because I'm probably going to have to record these quicker. At least 2 a week. And that fucking sucks. I really, really don't want to do that. But I don't feel I have a choice. Because if I don't, I'm going to get spoiled. If I don't, I'm going to just hurt my overall enjoyment of the series with spoilers. So it's like, one way or the other, I'm going to hurt my enjoyment of the series, and it's like, I would rather not be spoiled. You know what I mean? It's better to avoid spoilers than to just avoid getting to it quicker. And you might say, oh, I could just do like multiple episodes per video and everything, but I still think I want to release them week by week, at least for now. So I think I'm just going to record them ahead of time. But again, not like too far. Like, I'm not going to get to episode 6 on this same day. No, it's going to be like probably just twice a week. I'm probably going to record them twice a week, put one of them up per week. Probably something like that. Sort of like what I did for the One Piece live action. I ended up going into 2 episodes a week for that. I think after episode 2. I think I did the first 2 episodes separately, then I did 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and 8 together. But yeah. So we're just gonna kind of go for it here. I really hate to have to do this. I do apologize. But I don't really feel I have much of a choice. I've been backed into a corner, and the fandom is just hurting this for me because they just won't shut up about it. Which, I mean, in some degrees is a good thing because it's like it's good that the series is getting this much positive attention, but at the same time, it again hurts the overall experience I'm going to have watching this because I'm going to have to rush through it to a degree. So, more on topic of what happened last time, though. Let's actually get to some of that because these pre-thoughts are already super long as it is. We met Vox, Valentino, and Velvet, the V's. They sent in Serpentius. He ended up being caught because he's, let's be honest, a moron. But he's our moron. And that was made especially clear after Vox basically dropped his ass in the middle of the escape attempt and insulted the shit out of him. And so Charlie decided to give him a second chance because, of course, she did. And yeah, it seems like he's more than likely on their side for real this time. Like I said last time, the only other option is that this is like a long game plan, but I kind of don't feel like it is. Especially after rewatching this episode multiple times. Last episode, I should say, episode 2. Especially after rewatching it multiple times, I don't think it is. I feel like Vox was genuinely angry there. I don't think that was like a charade or anything. And I definitely don't think Serpentius is smart enough to pull anything like that off on his own. Like, he has a certain level of intelligence. I mean, he has to be as technological as he is. But that's about it. He's not, like, smart otherwise. And especially not in this kind of way. So, yeah. I guess we're just going to get into this and see how this goes. Let's hope for the best. Which, mind you, I've loved the show. I adore the show. So it's like, I don't think the show is going to give me a problem. It's just, got to get into this, so let's do so. When the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So that was James Monroe Iglehart as Vestiel. Called that one. I just recognized his voice. I've heard him enough as Asmodeus, and less so, but still as Vortex as well. So, yeah. So we meet some more Lords of Hell in this one. And Carmilla seems to at least be not necessarily a leader of them, but like a speaker for them during their meetings. And we find out that she is the one who ended up killing the angel. So that's a big revelation. We find this out after the meeting when she's with Zestiel and her daughters, and we find out that it was seemingly either self-defense or defense of others in the moment, and it was something she never wanted to do. Carmilla seems to be opposed to war, which is interesting considering she sells weapons and everything. But she is opposed to war because she wants to protect those that she cares about, those she loves. Her daughters, her best friend, Zestiel, who there might be a little something more to there, but they might also just be best friends. Um, but yeah, she's trying to protect them, and she knows how dangerous and deadly a war could be. So it's something she's trying to avoid. The death of the angel was something she clearly regrets. And this is why she's trying to avoid, like, going to war with the angels after their declaration of turning the clock to 6 months instead of a year before the next extermination. And we see that that causes issues during the meeting, as Velvet, the only one of the V's who actually shows up, has the complete opposite mindset. She and presumably the other V's as well want to go to war. They believe that they should be fighting these forces who are trying to kill them and everything. A completely different viewpoint. And Velvet sees Carmilla and the others there as fossils, basically, as the older generation who are just kind of stuck in their ways. While she and the V's and maybe some others want to progress things and want to move into a direction that's going to actually, take action. So they come to a head with the song, which was great. I mean, all the music in this has been great, of course. But having their little song there was fantastic. And we actually got to see more of what I expected Velvet to be like. I mentioned this last time, but Velvet came across as like not what I expected in terms of her personality, based off of the little tiny bit we saw of her in the premiere or in the pilot rather. So it surprised me, and not in a bad way by any means, but it just surprised me that her personality was like it was in the last episode. But here, this is more what I expected. Like constantly mentioning like trending and hashtag and stuff. Like that is definitely what I expected based on the pilot. Also, like being all about like the new age and hating on the old generations and stuff. Absolutely what I expected. She also had much more of a fun personality during the song here. She was kind of like a little sillier, but not like goofy silly, more like crazy silly. um, so it's fun to see more of her here and to see that kind of personality I was hoping for pop out. If it hadn't, though, if it remained with the other personality, I would have been fine with it. Again, it just wasn't what I expected, but it wasn't bad or anything. So yeah, that was fun, and we also had during this episode, Vaggie being given charge to try and do these trust exercises, and Vaggie seems to have a very militaristic approach to it, and to guiding people. So because of this, it ends up not working as well as they would hope, and it causes some notable um, issues with Vaggie. She starts to feel insecure and just like she's not really living up to Charlie's expectations of her. It causes her some pain, and that's when she joins into the part of the song with Carmilla. And we hear her singing about how she just wants to be there for Charlie, wants to protect her and be useful for her to her. It's very clear that Vaggie has some self confidence issues and really is looking for Charlie's approval. Which I mean, I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. I think all of us look for approval. And you even see other characters like Serpentius doing it in this episode. Looking for approval is not inherently bad. It's how much you put that into the focus of your life. Because if you make your entire life be about nothing but searching for approval, it's going to hurt you. You're going to come out of it in a worse spot than when you started. And that's not going to help anyone. So you need to be able to take a step back and realize that your self worth isn't relied on this kind of stuff. But I like seeing that Vaggie is struggling with this and seeing her and Charlie kind of like talk through it in the end. It's great to see. It genuinely is. It's also fun to see a lot more of Nifty's just insanity in this episode, like just jumping off the stage and everything and being amused by the pain. It's like, Jesus, Nifty. And also we see a bit of Husk just noping his way through everything. Like when they're like being thrown off the roof and everything by Vaggie, you see Husk just walk away and leave through the door back down the stairs. And it's just like nothing's ever said. No one ever points out to it. It's literally just a little background gag, but it's so funny. It works so well. The BDSM part with Angel taking them there to try and again help with the trust stuff is really funny too, because it's like he's technically right. You need to have a lot of trust and you need to give a lot um for BDSM. There's a lot that goes into that, and for safety reason you have to have trust involved. So he's not wrong. It would technically be a correct idea, but it's also an extreme idea because it's like that's a bit much. But yeah, there's just a lot of fun stuff with this episode. A lot of continued developments and whatnot. We got to see a lot more of the overlords. There's like this hellhound looking one, who we only heard like one line from. We saw Rosie. I'm very interested what more we're going to get with these kind of characters and just this kind of plot point. Obviously, Carmilla's got to be important because I mean she killed the angel. That's a big plot point. So I guess we'll have to see exactly how that continues to come into play. But either way, I really enjoyed this episode. It's another really good, really enjoyable one. So far, this series has been fantastic, and while avoiding spoilers has been hell, pun very much intended, um, it's it's just been an absolute joy. We waited years for this, and I'm so happy that it's actually living up to that. So, yeah, you're seeing this still on the same day you would expect to. But just as a reminder, um, we're going to probably be recording 2 episodes a week. You're still only going to see one a week for now. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes and take it from there. So, excuse me. In the meantime, um, let me know what did you think of this episode of Hazbin Hotel down in the comments below. And yeah, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.